Long ago, in a small little house that sat by a small little town, there was a little girl. She was only the age of 8 and lived alone in the small little house. The owners of the small little town visited the girl every week, bringing her food and other necessities. The girl knew how to cook, how to clean, and even how to grow a garden. She walked around in a little red dress with little white flowers. She twirled in the dress all around town, the wind flowing through her long brown hair. The residents of the small town loved to watch the little girl twirl around in her little red dress with little white flowers. They clapped and smiled as she twirled about, and the little girl loved to bring happiness and smiles to the faces of the residents of the small little town. The girl twirled and twirled till one day she tumbled to the ground and fell asleep. She woke up in her small little bed in her small little house to find a tall man looking at her. She jumped up and pulled her white sheet over her head. "Who are you, young girl, in this small little house?" The young girl spoke not to the stranger in her house. Eventually she came out from the sheet with small spots of dirt on it. The young girl did not like the dirt and began to take the sheet to the washer. "What are you doing, young girl?" the stranger spoke, as the young girl took her now dirty white sheet to clean in the washer. The young girl walked outside and onto the brown grass that surrounded her small little house. She opened the creaky old door to her little wash house. She opened the old washer and put the little white sheet into the old washer. The old washer did not start for the young girl. "It seems to be broken again. Well, it is quite old," spoke the young girl to herself. She walked back outside and began to twirl about her yard of dead brown grass. The stranger watched from the house as the young girl twirled about the yard. The young girl then came inside of the house and walked to her old cracked wardrobe. She pulled out her little red dress with little white flowers. "The residents are probably wondering what has taken me so long," the young girl said. Meanwhile, the stranger watched as the young girl put on the quite small dress on her quite small body. The young girl walked outside and began to skip towards the small little town to begin her daily ritual of making the residents of the small little town happy. The stranger watched as the strange young girl skipped down her road to the remains of a small little town that had once stood there. He watched as she began to twirl about the remnants of the street that was once full of residents that would applaud and smile for her, but were now nothing more than gravestones on the hillside. The young girl smiled and continued her daily ritual that she had done for many years, and would continue till she too became a grave on the hillside. The stranger walked away from the old broken house that sat on the outskirts of the burned-down little town, where a young little girl spent her days twirling about for an audience of rubble and ash.